Hello, I'm Sebastian Brunemeier, CEO of ImmuneAGE Bio, and we are rejuvenating the immune system, targeting the hematopoietic stem cells of the bone marrow. So by way of introduction, myself and my colleague Josef on the call. I'm a longevity scientist by training. I've been in the field over a decade. I'm a serial company founder. This is my third company. Prior companies have equity value of about 600 million. I was early employee and principal at Apollo Health Ventures, which is today the largest aging-focused fund in the world, with 250 million under management. I was previously founder of Samsara Therapeutics in Oxford, England, which is a clinical stage autophagy company. I was in the PhD program at Oxford working on the biochemistry of aging. Pass it to my colleague Josef.
Yeah, so I'm Joseph. Good to meet you guys. I have a background in biomedicine and a PhD in stem cell biology from Harvard. After my PhD, I joined McKinsey and Company, and I was there for almost 6 years, working primarily with pharmaceuticals. And so I've pretty much consulted for all the top 15 global pharmacos. Also spent time in Apollo Health Ventures as a partner. That's where I met Sebastian and actually also helped with the launch of Samsara. I also spent time in Novo Nordisk as the global commercial director for the cell therapy franchise, and also spent time as the chief business development officer in STEM Medical, which is a Danish stem cell focused company. And I've now joined ImmuneAGE Bio as the Chief Operating Officer. Good. So, as we all know, when we go through life, we start seeing a bunch of these age-related diseases pop up. So that's your cancers, that's your neurodegenerative diseases, your cardiovascular diseases, etc. Far few of us know that a lot of these diseases can actually be traced to aging of the immune system. And so what does aging of the immune system mean? Before answering that question, we need to introduce the hematopoietic stem cell, the HSC, which is the stem cell that resides in the bone marrow, and from there gives rise to all the cells of the immune system. We call those the white blood cells, and you produce about 100 billion of them per day. Now, interestingly enough, and fortunately enough, as the HSC age, we can see some physical changes to the cell that we can actually reverse. And so that's the scientific framework for everything we do here in ImmuneAGE Bio. And so in a young HSC, you have a high performing and intact immune system. But as that cell age, as the stem cell age, you start seeing accumulation of damaged mitochondria. You start seeing much less new, fresh, well-performing mitochondria be made. And you start seeing what's called an epigenetic coding drift, which translates to basically a wrong genetic transcription in the cell. And that leads to a low functioning HSC and a low immune functionality. But what our scientific collaborators have managed to demonstrate is that you can actually reverse this by induction of mitophagy, by inducing mitochondrial biogenesis, and that you can also restore this youthful epigenetic coding. And so we and our scientific collaborators published this in Nature Aging, which is the most prestigious longevity journal in the world.
Great. So we are building a pipeline of immune rejuvenation therapeutics. The first is IA101, which is an orally available small molecule, a pill that rejuvenates immune function at the level of HSCs and T cells. This enables access to a large global market, including neglected infectious diseases, as well as many other diseases in the immunology space. Secondly, we have IA201, which is our ex vivo HSC rejuvenation cocktails. This applies to everything in the bone marrow transplant space, as well as many other indications, including aging itself. And third, we have IA101, which is our HSC expansion platform, where we can expand the numbers of HSCs, maintaining stemness by a factor of 1,000, which is the world record. So the long-term vision is the immune system reboot, where it's a simple outpatient procedure where step one, we mobilize HSCs in the peripheral blood. This is routinely done all over the world for about 90% of bone marrow transplants. Just takes a couple of hours. And then in step two, we expand the HSCs with our stem supply platform. because the number of HSCs determines bone marrow transplant success more than any other factor. Step 3 is the rejuvenation using our proprietary ex vivo cocktails developed from our age screen platform. And step 4, we bank the HSCs for later because no one's getting any younger, and we reinfuse them acutely as needed to reconstitute the immune system. For example, if a patient is getting chemotherapy, we can isolate their HSCs, bank them so they dodge the bullet of the chemo, and then reinfuse them, improving long-term patient outcomes. So over the last approximately year or so, we have been advancing the pipeline. In IA101, we published in Nature Aging a small molecule that rejuvenates immune function better than anything ever published. It works to rejuvenate HSCs and T cells and indeed many other cell types, including neurons, by enhancing mitophagy and mitochondrial biogenesis. Secondly, we've built the age screen platform in Switzerland to identify totally new mechanism of action, small molecules that rejuvenate HSCs ex vivo. And to our knowledge, this is the most sophisticated such screening platform in the world in primary HSCs. And then third, with our collaborators at Oxford, we are applying the stem supply method to expand the numbers of HSCs ex vivo. And this has 2 papers in Nature among the top journals in the world. Right, so there are a lot of indications you could pursue by rejuvenating the immune system. Ultimately, we believe everybody on Earth can benefit from the immune system reboot procedure, an outpatient procedure, like a tune-up or an oil change in your car. In the near term, we are pursuing respiratory tract infections, a major cause of death globally, and where it's neglected in developing countries. Second, patients receiving chemotherapy. When you get chemotherapy, it damages the fast-dividing cells. The fastest dividing cell type in your body is the HSC, and the dose-limiting toxicity in chemotherapy is myelosuppression or anemia, affecting the bone marrow. So we bank the HSCs before the patient gets chemo, we expand, rejuvenate, and reinfuse. Next is bone marrow transplantation. These are very expensive procedures, can be $100,000 to $1 million in the United States, and sometimes need to be repeated. So if we could improve the efficiency even a little bit, it would be huge gains to the healthcare system. Or vaccine response in the elderly. There are 500 million vaccinations a year and many other immune suppressive conditions. And then long-term, it has not escaped our notice that aging of the immune system drives diseases like atherosclerosis and dementia as well. So we're raising a seed round of 6 million. We've raised 2 million previously from fairly prominent investors. This capital gets us through IND filing and starting phase 1 studies in the second half of 2026. So the capital is used to do lead optimization on the IA101 program, IND enabling tox, additional in vivo work. And then IA201 and 301 are a combined development program for our ex vivo expansion and rejuvenation platform. Right, so a little bit more about the team. You've met myself and Josef. We're also supported by Ryan and Stefan on the operational and R&D side. They have years of experience in biotech and academic research. We also have scientific collaborators, Nicola Vanini in Lausanne, Switzerland, a world expert in HSC metabolism, and Adam Wilkinson in Oxford, a world expert in HSC expansion. We also have consultants, some of which we're ready to hire full-time with deep expertise in pharma and stem cell biology, drug discovery, etc. And an advisory board comprised of some world-leading immunologists and drug hunters, as well as I'll call out Thomas Ebeling, who's the former CEO of Novartis on the board of Bayer and Lonza. He's personally an investor in the company as well. So with that, that concludes the teaser. We have a lot more information to share with you, and we would be pleased to jump on a call sometime soon.